I don't know if the changes are going really good. So I will say Heretics should win for me, like 2-0.
I mean, I feel like that makes sense. If you're talking about more cohesive unit, SK bring in DnDn, you know, Abbedagge is back in the lead, Skeanz as well. It's like this big mismatch where we don't know how the style of the team is. I'm sure that's like more the feeling where you guys, for example, I would relate more to Team Heretics. While the skill is obviously different right now in terms of performance, Team Heretics, same 5 roster, and they are developing. Team Heretics feel like they're a lot better this split as well. They're getting better and better.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last lose was like pretty hard, no? Was into G2, and I think they lose into Fnatic was super close.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they are looking better. I think G2 is in a really strong form, and this for sure affects Heretics, but I mean, I really like what they are building. So for me, it's the surprise of the year, this roster.
So let's talk about the meta. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, everyone was super excited because Fearless, like, oh, it changes the draft. But now it feels like at the end of the year, it's kind of a little bit more formulaic. People understand what, like, the Game 1 champs are, Game 2 champions are. So based on what we've seen banned away right now, do you think Pantheon is still super high priority in Game 1? Do you think Wukong is the higher priority?
I mean, now from my experience, there is a completely 2 different metas, Europe's and Worlds.
Right.
I think Fnatic try to copy Worlds, and G2 and us, I think we have our own things, but still Worlds level. And then there is the rest of the leagues that I think they try to get a strong front to back. Easy champions like Nocturne, Orianna, Varus. People ignore Pantheon because I think you need to play really well around the side lane, and you can contest Drake and play void grabs at the same time. It's really oppressive. So I mean, it's pretty solid now.
And there's an Nautilus just banned, I believe, in both games of your series. I can't recall game 2 dropped. Okay. So banned away on blue side before Nautilus left up.
So are you allowed to tell us if it was a jungle Nautilus ban or a support Nautilus ban? It's fine if you say no.
I mean, it's not like suddenly Nautilus is banned when it's not that
that was our guess. That was our guess too. So I assume we're thinking that this is going to be a Nautilus jungle into the Nocturne. How much experience have you had against Nautilus jungle in solo queue?
Yeah, I mean, right now with the Nautilus flex, you can bump to supports and send it bot lane, and most likely you are going to have a good matchup. They react with Sivir that I believe is super good into Varus and Nautilus, so I didn't like that much this Nautilus, so I guess it's because they like into Nocturne. So right now I think Heretics should look something to peel because the other team is going in.
So if you're a Varus in this situation, obviously with the threat of a dive, Sivir plus Nocturne, that is a lot that's targeting you. What sort of support do you think? Does Braum suddenly rise on priority? Analyst has already been banned away.
Yeah, I mean, Alistar for sure is the best one, really good into Nocturne and fulfill. I think they should look either to, now they have 2 options, or send it, something that engage and you play front to back, and for other side Rell go in, because if you engage first on Orianna, Nocturne is pretty bad for them.
Right.
So they have the 2 options. I think Heretics should hold to counter bot, and right now I really like the SK draft. I think in general they are drafting pretty well. I think they are just missing in gameplay. That is the most important part.
Yeah, it is.
But in general, I really like their drafts.
Aurora into Cassante is the thought here, so a bit more AP damage in solo lanes. And what's most interesting is Team Heretics already with the Nord jungle coming in, front lines there. Vedi, you've talked about Braum, you've talked about disengage. Super, you mentioned that Alistar's the best pick. Now that that's taken away, would you start talking about Rells, maybe the Rakan as an option here?
Yeah, I mean, if I tell you...
That's a Varus.
Corki mid, I would assume.
Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. I was
the Corki mid.
It's not Beerwin, bro. I'm just sorry. I'm used to Beerwin. I'm like, I see a Varus, and I see a brand locked in as well. All right.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I think they didn't ban any support. It's kind of crazy, but at the end, if you have 3 carries, Nocturne or Orianna only can focus 1. Sure. It's a MDK last year comp. I love it. So, I mean, right now, I think if they finish with Rell, I will say this is a pretty, in my opinion, draft gap for the right one. Now they need to play well. They have winning bot. I think mid should be like pretty 50-50. I mean, I'm not really sure about this. For sure, if it's volatile as fuck.
Yeah.
And I think they should win top. So, and it's oppressive jungle. So, I'm expecting SK playing really aggro in the early game, even late invading. But they need to do proactive things, because if they scale, I think they are gonna end up losing.
So basically, SK just have a lot of agency with their laners because their ability to either get the push, it's super easy to support their jungler, and so the responsibility falls on Skeanz. But in my head, when you're playing a comp like this, is your goal to try and steal away camps, like the Canyon Sider style? You use your push to steal away enemy objectives? Or is it just, we want to make sure the Nocturne gets to 6 as quickly as possible?
I mean, since they have a better laner, they should get advantage through this, and it's either you dive or you invade, kinda, in this meta. So they should transfer this advantage to get void grabs, drakes, and stack early soul, and forcing enemy to come into you, and then you look to fight. So I don't know how they were gonna do, but if they play safe, it's a big advantage for Heretics that if they arrive even for the void grabs, drake, I mean, they're gonna win. They have 3 carries, and
Yep. I like it. You said, like, there's so many different angles of attack here as well. Kind of disappointed that after all that talk and the talk of banning it, it's not a jungle Nautilus, but still, jungle brand is back as well. We'll talk about the changes going into game, but Super, we'll have you alongside us to be part of this early game. As you said, you want Team Heretics to have a stable game. Get towards those void grubs, find their contests there, and then scale into this game as well. Other side for SK, we talked a little bit about it, and I'm glad you mentioned it as well, because it does feel like, you know, draft-wise, this looks like a comp that's easy to press its go buttons. But there has been a problem with SK and how they come together in their fights. Like, their coordination ain't like you, ain't like KC, ain't like G2 the top of the league.
yeah. I mean, right now, Heretics doing pretty well, getting some info, because as I say, if enemy gets where you start and they kind of match you, you should get really fucked in the jungle. So I'm expecting that the Heretics try to be solid, look for a swap, because it's actually the best they can do, try to mismatch. So if we saw our last game, the one we played with the Corki Nico, need to be really well with the tempo, managing the waves, and if enemy wants to swap, they fall really behind. That is what happened in our game. So this is what SK should look, because if they play actually to give DnDn a solid 1v1 lane, I think he should stomp in this matchup.
So explain to us, from the Varus and Nautilus perspective, why is it that this lane matchup is actually so hard? Because for so long, many fans at home see Varus as just this super lane-dominant AD carry.
I mean, Sivir is pretty good into Varus because he can't poke you and control the zones that they see, like mid waves and waves. And Sivir can actually win prior into Varus early game, no? So Rell is really good into Nautilus since level 2 because you destroy the seal and you can engage, and if he engages on you, you just Q and disengage. So he kinda can't do anything to you and you can do whatever you want. So if Varus lethality is falling behind in the early game, you should have a hard game because this champion just wants to control zones and start poking from before.
Fair. I also think of, like, in the mid game, to me, Varus is a relatively low mobility champion. And if you've got Rell, Sivir, Nocturne, like, if that poke isn't landing, you're just going to get engaged on, and then the Varus makes it becomes impossible to play, right?
Yep, this is true, but right now this champion is so broken that you can build the lethality shield and you can play from behind and still be fine, but it's true, like, if you are even in the game and Sivir still outscale you, this is going to be hard. If Sivir is good this game, he actually has no threat this comp.
Fair. Well, we'll keep eyes on the bot lane.
Now, important question as well. I believe your parents were here last week, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. Were they here both days of last week or just one?
Last week, they come one full week to stay with me, and then they come for the 2 matches. Nice. I mean, it's the first time they could stay for a really good matches.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, LEC, at least.
So they came for the right time. That's nice. And then they've gone home. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice that your family came.
Now I need to go Madrid, so they come again.
Ticket sales were there before, by the way. Very nice. I've never been to Spain. I haven't been to Madrid or Spain at all, so I'm, you know, hoping to join you there.
Yeah. The problem will be, most likely it's going to be super hot.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But we are going to be inside the event, so we'll be chill.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I expect. Bit of an engage. Level 4 for 4. Seer is blocked, and Sheo, rather, it was a conflagration. He flashes over the wall. Sheo's bullied out, and Skeanz just bullying the fact that he got Conqueror first.
So, earlier you mentioned about the swaps. We're seeing a very early swap from SK. From your perspective, is this them trying to get ahead, anticipating the swap? Or is this them just making a misplay?
I mean, I'm pretty confused, not gonna lie, because I don't think you want to play 2v2 with Aurora, because actually they win. Because Aurora, you don't win the all-in into this bot lane, so I don't like this. The only way I think this can work is if you freeze top and you play with your Rell, Sivir, and K'Sante can touch a minion, but K'Sante actually is not in a threat into Sivir. It's not that strong early game. So, I mean, I think SK fuck up here.
I'm not wrong. At least you're honest. And it puts SK, you're right, like in a big disadvantage where as TP comes through, we're mismatching again. What are we doing? Okay, Carlsen's coming bot. And now we get the 1v1. So DnDn's probably like, okay, maybe there's some kind of recovery here, right? Like back in normal lane. But the health is a problem as DnDn is getting autoed to death. The flip, the flash. You know what, Super? You weren't wrong. I think the game is a bit like that now.
I mean, now Team Heretics react pretty fast. Just actually match because DnDn is in a really bad state because he also lose XP sharing with Rell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they can snowball with the Carlsen advantage and then probably secure some objectives in the early game.
But is it a good thing that the Sivir is up in experience, or in the long run do you think this just doesn't matter?
The what?
The Sivir, because she has about a half a bar about of experience overhead. It's a small advantage. Do you think it matters?
I mean, with Sivir, probably not. If you have like a Varus, Kai'Sa, Junara, this champion that level 6 is super oppressive, like game champion changer.
Yeah.
Yes, but I would say with Sivir, I don't think it's that good. Anyway, I think this will be in the fights. All the team is fine, they secure now.
So, from your perspective, do you know why they're committed to getting this Sivir in the 1v1 against the K'Sante?
I mean, right now, probably because they think Aurora is hard losing in the 1v1 into K'Sante. So,
but they did pick it into the K'Sante.
I was going to say, they chose to take this matchup.
I'm confused. I'm not
Great, that's all I needed to hear. Because we too sometimes get confused, and this is helpful. So if you're Heretics right now, what are you thinking? What's your game plan in this situation?
I mean, right now what I will look is to try to play chill, play for void grabs, wait that Carlsen get this 1v1 tempo, or at least match it. And I think right now with the Varus 4v4 they should win. So just coordinate, play all for the same, secure void grabs, and don't reswap. Don't reswap. Like enemy is gonna need to cover him. And you are scaling for free, getting everything. Just keep playing because I think they can get all the control all the time when they coordinate with the jungle.
It could be free at this point. I want to quickly ask you, Super, as well, in this early game. We see the brand jungle. Do you have any insight into, is it just the changes? Is this egregious in solo queue right now? Like, how does this hit for you? Top lane's going to battle a little bit. Keduii just going to walk it off, and the wave's actually not in the greatest spot as Carlsen's just taking it up. He doesn't care. Any thoughts on brand jungle?
I mean, I think he's kind of... I mean, they buffed him, but I think kind of Carlsen and... Sheo and Kamiloo, they both like... Kamiloo likes to play ADCs, and I think Sheo likes to play P, from all his career.
Right.
So, probably this is something that fits them, and I think with the AP jungle, you get as well what Heretics want, that is a strong jungle, and a front-to-back first target, so...
And Sheo's also been an insane carry, like whether he's on supporting jungles or... as you said, like AP jungles as well. I feel like he's really one of the best junglers in the league right now. We've had the Jax, the Nocturne, Wukong, and Xin Zhao. Like, there's a plethora of either skirmishing or setup junglers. So,
but I will say that I think that teams that do a good job of putting him behind tend to kind of also just put Heretics behind. And how strong do you think SK are in a position to contest this? Do you think they even can from this position?
No, because...
I mean, they at least got one.
Yeah.
So... right now, if I was them, I will look to play for the second Drake. You need early fights, kinda. You need to use this Nocturne Orianna. You need to get advantage to this. Because I think if you keep scaling, you will arrive to one point that Nocturne Orianna, if are even, they don't kill either Corki or Brand. So I think they need to be more proactive and look for early fights. More or less, they are trying.
Because you did say that, like, one win condition for SK is they use their prio to control the early objectives, and then eventually you're going to force that third dragon fight, maybe the fourth dragon fight, the Herald, and because you're forcing it, you're also forcing the fight on your terms, and that's why Heretics feels like in a good position because they're getting those grubs largely uncontested, right?
Yep. So more or less they are not that bad, but I think they need to how to say, they need to play more aggressive the map when the objectives come.
Right.
They are not that bad. I think they should win the fights in 1-2 items still, but if they keep not pressuring, I think the brand will be really annoying and the Corki when they reach 1-2 items.
True. Which is coming soon. Faded Ash is already starting us off. Swifties here for Kamiloo is... It's a slow-paced game, but as we keep saying, Team Heretics loving it at the moment. Dragon at 120, and that'll be the second Dragon there. Now, Super, we are getting ready to hand you back because, again, Orgs don't want to take too much time.
You also played a very intense series.
You did, so really letting you rest is important. I was going to ask you, feelings going into your final week, because you've only got one best of 3 left. You got Vitality next week. And that's it. And then then if you can get in top 2 in the group, which we're expecting, you have one best of 5 to make it into Worlds again.
I mean, we need to step up for sure, because I think Vitality is stronger than Navi. So if we play like this today, I think into Vitality we could be losing. We did it already the last split. So we need to step up. We can't be performing into worse team than us in theory in a stage, because we know that we can perform into the best team in the league, but this is not acceptable if we want to build a good base to win LEC again and go international. So we will need to prepare really well, and I hope you enjoy the matchup of today and tomorrow, because I think the match of the LEC.
Oh yeah. Well, final thoughts before we let you go. Who do you think is going to win this game?
I mean, right now looks like Heretics has it, but you never know with Nocturne Orianna.
You never know with Nocturne Orianna.
I always love this combo because it's a game changer.
Well, we might get to see some action in a second.
Red line connects. Okay, finally Nocturne Orianna, but the problem is Nautilus is on Abbedagge. He can't move. It's going to be a 1-for-1 now. Jungle going to die on Team Heretics side as Stend flashes away. Sheo did get a kill, but in response, so did Skeanz. Dragon's also up, so for SK, they have a smite, and maybe, Super, that was enough to change the game. What do you think? As we need to look top, because I see a potential dive coming in. Carlsen going to get the flip back, all out over the wall as well, and I was watching Doo-Doo the other morning. DnDn's going to flash away while Dragon's being done. Super's going to stay with us for a bit, because again, with Dredgeline coming through, the arrow over the quiver, Flakked gets a kill onto Loopy. The fear won't be enough. There's good work coming through from Stend. He might be a sacrificial lamb, but achieving a 2v1 over to Keduii, where Kamiloo is just free-firing. Flakked and Kamiloo double 80 carry power. Now looking for another. The slow from the Mountain Dragon, the poke as well. Flakked close to getting kill number 3. And Orianna coming in. Abbedagge wants a new angle, but Sheo's now alive. Steals the Dragon, and you might be right, Team Heretics just took that one back.
I mean, I think with this advantage, Heretics will be able to close. I would like that Carlsen try to play more with the team, because he's the most fit from his team before this fight. So I think if Carlsen play with the team, they should secure this game pretty easy right now.
Wow. Thank you so much for your time, Super. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. You can go back to your team. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. You chill out, because we're going to have to take those. You can just take your headset off. And thank you so much, Super. Have a good one.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's always a pleasure. Vedius doesn't fist bump. Vedius doesn't fist bump. What the hell? No, screw the replay.
I gave him the fist bump, right?
Yeah, after I said it. Thank you, Super.
I was looking at you, which was a massive mistake.
You could be a bad person. Anyway. I don't know who you are.
Wow, what an intense team fight we just got off the back of. Super gave us a lot of great insight, and also kind of set up what we kind of expect to see in this game. And SK, with a couple of questionable swaps in the early game, have allowed Heretics to get into this favorable position, where now they've been able to equalize the Dragons. They have a small grub advantage, and ultimately they are leading with a 1k gold lead. And crucially, it's Flakked that's sitting with those 2 kills as well. So this Varus, that Super himself said, is mega OP, and the lethality Varus wants to be ahead, is currently ahead.
The word game changer was floated around a couple of times. Varus definitely in the conversation. Sheo, quick note as well. He's now really snowballing ahead, and the power of Bran, when maybe only a year or so ago, Betty, I can't remember how long, he was floating around in the meta, was his incredibly quick clear speed. Then again, once he's back, you can expect the same thing. Sheo up 10 CS up, and a Leandri's. And important for Heretics, as we were talking about before, that this series, with their rough start to the schedule, granted G2 Fnatic, this is a must-win series, and Heretics having a good start to said series is great for the mental, but also for their chances of making playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, while arguably the schedule started tough but gets easier for Heretics. That's not true for SK, because their opposition is not going to be an easy one. Today, they are, of course, playing against Heretics, but then they have to go up against G2, the team that's currently fighting for first in the group. So this series today is extremely important for this org, because they need it to avoid that last place spot.
Yep.
Both teams that finish last in each of their respective groups, their year is over. There is no playoffs, there's no opportunity to go to Worlds. They will have no chances left. So a super important series for both these teams, and right now it is Heretics leading the charge.
And again, for Heretics, as Super kind of mentioned, they've been the team that's felt a lot more put together, and granted, they're sticking as 5 together. So it's no surprise that, again, their synergy is improving as SK took a chance on DnDn over from the LCK. Skeanz is back in, Abbedagge is back in, all the while they're trying this new AD carry from this year, and Loopy alongside. There's a lot of moving parts from SK. This game's far from over. 1K gold lead so far, and Herald is now up, but there was good burst from Sheo, sending Loopy a little bit down. That starts the fight, the proactivity, as Kamiloo might be ganked on here, but Skeanz just backs away. Kamiloo knows there is a Nocturne wandering about.
TPs are available for both top laners, ready to join the fight at a moment's notice.
And Dredge line sets up, and look at the poke with a death touch. Loopy's dead! He doesn't even get to press the engage button. The power of brain from Team Heretics compels another kill.
It's Heretics with full control around the neutral objectives. SK wanted to be using the prio that they should have had from their lanes to be controlling these objectives, to be forcing these fights, but after some questionable swaps, they found themselves in a very tricky situation where the game continues to just propel ahead for Heretics. Level 11 now for Sheo, 2 points in that ultimate. And they're looking strong with this Herald in their pocket.
We have not seen a submarine combination, or whatever you want to call it, with the ball on the dark being. Skeanz that nightmare. It's not really a nightmare without the ball on top. And we've got a one-item Orianna who does do damage thanks to the revolver, thanks to, you know, the Hextech gun in inventory. But once again, we have not seen the combo. 40 seconds to find out if we finally get our first look, as third dragon on the horizon, Infernal Soul in this game, and Team Heretics have got item upon item, first in their inventory, now matched by SK, who are looking to charge in the same.
Heretics with good vision coverage around the dragon. The poke is starting to come through from Flakked. Nothing too scary for the time being, but you can only imagine they'll get stronger as the game goes on. Look at the waves as well. Heretics doing a good job of just keeping those waves pushed up. Flakked quick to get to the lane. Something we saw from Super earlier was just this idea of using the Sivir to get that prio in the mid-lane matchup. One of the reasons why it is favored. You can see that Skeanz is hovering.
Finally Shockwave, and it's not early, it's on site. That's more than can be safe for Flakked. There's a shutdown. Stend flushed over the wall. Depth charge. But two-man as Herald gets summoned in the midst of it. And Kamiloo jumping up with Sheo, letting it all unleash. He gets a knockup too, and the Herald does good damage. He's going to pop out right in front, waiting for the Pillar of Flame, but Skeanz walks around. Herald does some damage to the mid turret, but all in all, finally, SK pull that trigger.
It's a nice engage onto Flakked. They get both the summoner spells, and they find the kill. But Sheo just stood his ground in that fight. He says, I've got my ultimate, I've got enough damage, and you know what? I've also got a Herald. He uses it to force SK to retreat, connects it onto the tower, and they're even going to convert it into their second dragon of the game. Heretics on a 1-for-1 come out on top.
It's that pointed out Seekers that makes a difference as well. We'll watch how it was used, because as you said, standing his ground, Sheo at level 11 here.
So a beautiful engage, shuts down Flakked, makes it impossible for him to play. The follow-up from Loopy is good as well, as Stend flashes over the wall. There is that arm guard from Sheo, buying enough time. He throws up the ultimate, it bounces between Loopy and Abbedagge, forcing them both to below 50% HP, and then he rides off into the sunset off the back of the Herald, forcing the rest of SK to retreat, while the Corki ends up picking up another kill. Well, his first kill of the game, I should say, but 100% kill participation for Kamiloo so far here.
Much better performance, much better start, when I feel like Camiloo's laning has been criticised, but here today he's gotten through quite fine against Abbedagge. You got to be honest though, you know, the early game has been quite stale in Team Heretics' favour, so it's been perfect for him. But hey, 1200 gold lead still there. They got the dragon, you mentioned Vedi, but Atakan's coming up in 115. Not sure we'll do much with that, but regardless, it is still a nice and easy game here. While the goal might not seem much, with everything we've set up for the draft and how Super especially said, you know, the scaling is going to become immense. especially when you have a 2-item brand, by the way. He just picked up a Sonya's. It does start getting concerning if they can't keep pulling this trigger on SK, this Nocturne, this Orianna combo, to get their way through this early to mid game.
They are... I like Super's point about when you have multiple damage threats, once you fired that shotgun, you don't have a way to reload the weapon.
True.
So they really have to make sure that that pick counts. And then Keduii, while he doesn't really have any... Oh, hang on a minute.
There's a pick here, depth charge again, but they're doing this onto Loopy. Once more caught out of position. Rocket almost comes out of Kamiloo's pocket, and Loopy gets fired upon. Kamiloo's second there, and he's right on the money.
He finds another one. The kills extend to 6 as Heretics find advantage after advantage. Loopy gets caught out, holding the lion's share of the death so far in this game, as Carlsen largely just ignores DnDn on the top side.
I mean, DnDn's done nothing this game because he's either been into the Cassante, opportune times, there's a shockwave, but a little bit early, I believe. Fierce still going to come out, barrier there as well. Keduii under turret, but where's the damage? Skeanz is tanking it up, but Abbedagge comes through eventually. But Carlsen now in the way. A blast cone there too, and all out pops him and takes him on a journey. Abbedagge flashes away, but Carlsen still has his right there too. No blast cone for you a second time, and a pillar of flame not stealing away. Carlsen picks up kill number 1.
So a 1-for-1 trade is Flakked. There's little that the Varus can do in these situations. When Nocturne wants to commit the ultimate and you don't have flash, I mean, what options does Flakked really have? He tried to leverage the safety of his tower, but yeah, the shockwave didn't actually connect, so a bit of a fumble there on the combo, but Abbedagge has enough damage with the QW to secure the kill. But because he had to dive so deep to secure it, it provided an opportunity for Carlsen to find a pick. Nice interrupt onto the blast cone. Sheo getting some valuable movement speed buffs from the infernal flame petals, I suppose.
The cinders?
The cinders.
The petals.
Yes. Everything is a petal on the rift now.
True. Everything is flowers.
But it gives you a bit of extra movement speed when you do pick them up, and that allowed Sheo to catch up as well.
There's got to be someone at Riot who's just a florist in their side job that was like, you know, how can I get my job on the screen? How can I represent my floristry? Let's add Atacon, this demon that drops
LeBlanc's
flowers.
coven is called the Black Rose.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
That is cool. That's such a cool
You know
code
this.
name.
Her famous quote is, "The Black Rose shall bloom once more."
Yeah, but the thing is, don't play LeBlanc. You know, the champion
Really?
too
You
hard
don't
for
play
a 30.
LeBlanc?
It's hard for a 30-year-old to use hands and LeBlanc. And like that, bro. There's a reason that I don't play champions that say when you hover over them in champs like now, hard, you know? Like,
Wait, it does?
It
Really?
says, if you hover over now, it says difficult.
Oh.
And it's just like, what do you say? Ezreal, difficult. I'm like,
I'm glad that that's not around for the Nocturne mid era, because it would not say difficult. I'm telling you that.
You don't think? Difficult for some.
Now, the dragon spawning in about 45 seconds. Heretics have already set their sights on that objective. The bot wave has been pushed out, but that's going to be caught by Kamiloo. And you'll notice that Loopy and Skeanz don't really have any access to this river, but they do have pretty decent vision coverage. They've been able to get a few wards here or there. And you can see them littered throughout the bot side, particularly of the river, so at least they have some information. And with the TP available on DnDn, there are ways for him to join the fight as well. That one in particular by the Atacon is unlikely to be swept.
Sure.
Flakked does have his flash back up, and he might have to use it.
He does, but he gets caught anyway, and there it is, the combo finally layered on with the Magna Storm from Loopy. SK, useful fight. Keduii's poked out. Kamiloo still has a bit of damage in his back socket, but for now, even with a phosphorus bomb not connecting, Team Heretics have to back away. SK pulled the trigger, and it works well again.
That is the combo that SK have been looking for. Well executed, connects onto 2 carries. The rest of Heretics are not in a position to respond, and they're able to find 2 kills. Dragon, and maybe even an Atacon as well. Have they gone a little bit too deep though? Carlsen is on the way. Kamiloo is in the area.
9k at 8. Kamiloo, as you said, the poke is big. DnDn has TP even after taking the turret. It's a big play for SK. Carlsen running in at 4, at 3. Skeanz just needs to lock down on that smite, and with Phosphorus Bomb poking him out, surely. Yes, he does get it. There's a direct line as well between worlds. Carlsen takes him out of that said world. And DnDn going through yet another portal. Is going to take Blast Cone, flash away. Stend wanted a dredge line mid-air, but he won't find it as SK get the objective. Gold dead even, but that gold from Atacon puts them in the lead.
A big swing for SK. And again, Super talked about it. While he did expect Heretics to have the advantage, you never know with Nocturne Orianna.
You never know.
A single combination could be enough to swing the game's momentum, and it's done just that. SK find themselves now in a much more comfortable spot.
Yeah.
2 items being completed across the board. Oh, and
Yikes.
getting at Heretics. Look at the Orianna's build. That is a one-shot build.
That is the Orianna from hell. That's what we want to see.
No Rod of Ages, no Seraph.
No, not at all. Not even Phase Rush. No, he's got Comet. He wants to hit some people with a meteoroid.
That's what you need to be doing. When you're going to play a combination that is all about Orianna's going to one-shot, that's what you want to be seeing.
When you have this giant ball, you want to throw it at people and they feel the weight of the ball.
Oh, yeah.
You know, none of this like, I don't know, whatever it charges from, like the electricity that comes out is a bit of a tickle. You want, it's like fork in the socket. That's what you want.
How did you go from a ball reference to a fork in a socket?
But it has
also, have you ever put a fork in a socket before?
No.
Because I do feel like
here's
you
advice.
would.
No one do that. It's dangerous.
Please don't do that.
Please don't do that. Sometimes I say stuff on broadcast that just shouldn't be done, or repeat it.
Again, we need to talk about the filter. You need to stop and think.
We had Super on. There was no filter there. He let loose. He can't get fined. He's a player. But
oh my goodness!
No one should talk to him about it. He was great. Unchained is great, especially as Baron at 25 minutes now spawns. Let's get an Unchained fight as Flakked. Yo moves forwards. He's got a Seekers as well, by the way. And with the Zhonya's over here, there is a lot of time stopping
Hex slash,
abilities.
Hex slash.
I'm looking for it, but he goes backwards.
Right.
You were excited for Stend, and now I hold.
I was excited. Levels up across the board for Heretics as we all make our way into mid lane. DnDn gets a nice push out top side. Carlsen does have the TP. I feel like he should be making his way to bot, try and get that deep push in, force someone to go and catch. Kamiloo now has to move towards top. This will make it easier for Keduii to get that push into the mid lane, and now SK can have their turn moving into the top side river. With Baron alive, there's always that threat. And they want to be on the objective first because they want to be the ones deciding how the fights are played out. Sheo, Kamiloo, Flakked all have to be cautious about how they approach the fight. Overgrouping could be their demise against this Nocturne Orianna combo.
It really feels like it because even Vedius, like, look at the experience difference between AD carries here. Look at the experience difference between top laners as well. Like, there's a full level now pretty much between Carlsen and DnDn because DnDn's been sitting in these side lanes, adding pressure. It's lovely this curse just picked up, by the way. And Keduii has been solo farming mid with his team hitting those side lanes where you talk about overgrouping. Carlsen just hovered, stole EXP from Flakked, and it does feel like if you want to be a nerd and nerd out on the macro, that is a bit of a mistake from Team Heretics in the mid-game.
Yeah, because we saw 2 instances of this from Carlsen, where he came bot for the Herald, sorry, not for the Abbedagge contest, which he lost a lot of time on because DnDn, he was able to get another wave, or maybe even 2 topside before he ended up TPing in. And now, just now, as you highlighted, Carlsen hovering around mid lane, DnDn was able to catch another wave on the top lane. So here in this mid-game, well, closer to late game now, as the 3rd items are being worked on and even completed as the Infinity Edge is now finished for Keduii. Level 16 on the Sivir as well. I think, I mean, that's tied for the highest level in the game alongside DnDn.
Yep.
SK should feel very comfortable with how their position is. We're getting closer to that big, important dragon fight. And the Nocturne Orianna is looming.
It's still just so much pressure. Look, DnDn unchecked. Next wave coming in, someone has to handle that. Carlsen still groups up, and they're going to clear some vision together. But for now, Team Heretics, it's that goal, right? It might only be 300 on top of your screen, but it's so important when every level adds more gold. It's unseen gold in League of Legends as we continue around mid.
Abbedagge really wants to complete his next item before his base. He's so close to level 16 as well. Kamiloo is pushing super deep on the bot side. Does Abbedagge have enough for, well, the Void Staff, possibly?
So Carl just there so they can clear wards still. DnDn is going to get some autos, and remember, they still have one grub themselves. A collapse from Carlsen. Sheo is soloing Dragon for the time being, so still going to edge out a win. If Team Heretics get this, it'll be 3rd Dragon. But if the fight starts now, which it will with the Shockwave, and the Seeker's Armor Guard getting burned, and the Magnastorm on top, they're in deep trouble. Team Heretics, 1 in the ground, 1 in the dirt. Flakked won't see anything as the Dragon, rather, turret goes down. The Dragon will as well, but SK now have a 4 versus 5 in front of the Baron.
It's a risky thing to force against a brand, though. That ultimate can do some serious damage. Heretics putting themselves on the solo point, but DnDn continuing to pressure on the side lane will get a tower in exchange.
Big.
A huge gold injection as Flakked falls once more. He had a 2-0 start to this game, but he has been the target from this Orianna Nocturne. The Crypt Blue now completed.
Kill
Let's look back
Flakked.
at this fight, and as you rightly said,
Kill.
there's a single target. A nice stopwatch comes through, but the Rell follow-up still gets the flash out from the Varus, and he realizes that there's little that he can do. 2 towers secured, kill secured, and the threat on the Baron.
I can translate that for you, unplayable. he bought a Seekers. Now that's gone. His flash gone too. Barrier all that stands. And
Yeah, those items are kind of awkward now for Flakked.
And
It's going to be down 3 levels.
again, here we go. Paranoia strikes deep, and yeah, the shockwave won't work out yet again, but even with the flash, the flee, Skeanz is so strong in this game that Kamiloo's going to die regardless. Boomerang helps out, but Skeanz is on the chase. Movement speeding up, and another kill. Skeanz really carrying the game through and through with Chain of Corruption fly out, but again, buying time. DnDn does it himself, and Sheo comes in with a set up from Loopy and Magnet Storm as well.
Wait a minute.
Sheo can't really move. No one was there from SK, otherwise Sheo would have been dead as well. But Kamiloo, dead for 40 seconds, as you said, in front of Baron and SK again.
Yeah, this should be an uncontested Baron. Sheo is just too low HP. He does still have the Brand ultimate available. He's making his way back towards the objective. This isn't the fastest Baron.
DnDn. Oh, he's seen. No, okay. Stend just predicts and he knows. The all-out pulled here on the top lane, but DnDn gets away into another dimension. He strikes. He has to run. Baron is killing DnDn, but he gets out if only just. Loopy on the back of the pit as well. It's going to be a reset angle. And Carlsen and Stend did what they could to hold the game.
My goodness. How did Stend know? I wonder if he spotted DnDn walking into the brush, but that Hex Flash over the wall to catch out the top laner was massive, because after forcing him out of the fight, Heretics realized, no, this Baron isn't low enough, we can't stall out enough time, we're just going to have to disengage. Heretics buy another window, delaying the Baron, and also the closer they get to Soul, the better their chances are of regaining some control over this game.
And Infernal Soul as well. It's pretty dangerous. I feel like Team Heretics, I mean, this game was kind of pacing out for themselves. Baron's being done. I was just waiting for a contest, but no. SK just started this. Team Heretics reset. They're not here in time. It's gone. It is just gone. Paranoia again. The shockwave not going to hit anyone mark, but neither is the Chain of Corruption. The other side, DnDn has set them in a parallel world as Abbedagge gets the first kill of the fight. Loopy burning down, but Carlsen now isolated with the poke coming through, and DnDn from over the wall. Carlsen lucky to be alive. They lose one and the Baron. SK, that game is now yours.
SK fully in the driver's seat. Really nice engage once more. They keep it simple, they keep it straightforward, and they look to attack the easiest target. They don't even get the flash out from Sheo either. They just don't give him room to breathe. The shockwave doesn't connect, but they didn't need it. Now the Dragon spawning in a minute 30. SK need to hold control. We've seen teams throw with leads like this before. We've seen it today.
Yeah, we've seen it a lot of days. I region.
And SK need this series win to keep their playoff chances alive.
And in a game that started really depressing and sided by Super, who had all reason to say Team Heretics, this draft looks good. And especially with the early game state, SK, their mid-game, their side lanes have been spectacular. Mainly because Team Heretics haven't been matching them, but also just outplaying. Here we go again. A free target onto Sheo. Where is the mobility? Give them a car or something. Team Heretics need to get the hell out of there.
DnDn finally gets something on the scoreboard. His first kill of the whole game. He's been spending a lot of his time in this game, sitting on a side lane, farming up. He's able to get that pick on the Sheo. SK secure another tower, and now they can return to the Dragon. We're going to see 6 Dragons in this game. It's looking to be 7.
Okay.
SK executing well. Their early game, question marks. The swaps were confusing.
They were.
We got Super to say it himself.
He said it on record. Don't blame us. We all said it, okay? We're equal parts.
But they've turned it around. And as you rightly said, Skeanz and Abbedagge found the engages. They locked onto Flakked. They didn't give him room to breathe. They were tower diving him in the mid lane as well. They made it impossible for him to play the game. And now they're reaping the rewards.
I feel like, even though Skeanz Abbedagge working his unit is, yes, this Dragon's going to go down. We know this is going down. I feel like Skeanz has been the moneymaker this game. Like,
100%.
While the shockwaves don't always follow through, Skeanz' timing on the paranoia has been insane. And not only has he kept up with the brand farming, he's got a level lead naturally because of all the contribution he's had towards those bloods. But fourth item coming soon. He's got a GA now. That diving is becoming so much easier.
And Nocturne did get nerfed this patch, but that was because they buffed experimental hexplay, which is just an item that complements him extremely well. And I think we're seeing the benefits of it in this game as well. The way you chase down that Corki in the top lane, the damage the Nocturne can throw out with the Black Cleaver as well, getting a bit of magic resistance to help deal with Sheo. This Nocturne is a real assassin at this point in the game.
20% extra on the overdrive attack speed and 5% extra on the move speed. Worth mentioning here, we haven't engaged. Skeanz is fine though. Remember again, GA. Even at half HP, he can go back to his jungle. He can heal up. He's got a couple of camps on bot side, so pause for now. But that Baron sits there in 2 minutes 30. That's when it'll come up. That's when we fight over it for now. All about vision, all about control in these next said 2 minutes.
Yeah, the bad news for SK is they couldn't use the Baron to break open the base of Heretics. If they had been able to, it would have just been this massive point of pressure, which would have made it easier for them to steal away Heretics' camps and just continue to grow the gold lead. Unfortunately, Heretics still has access to their jungle camps. They still have access to these waves, and with no neutrals to really play for, they've still got a lot of time to stall. You can see this Corki continuing to build up towards his fourth itemization, and the longer this game goes, the gold becomes less relevant. And it's important to recognize that this shotgun combination of Orianna and Nocturne, in theory, the later the game goes, the harder it becomes to execute. You could, on the one hand, argue it becomes easier because the Orianna, I mean, when that dash cap is done, it's a lot of damage. But at the same time, defensive options, things like GA are going to come through. So Heretics is not upset about the fact that they can continue to stall, continue to get farm up, and potentially find a chance of turning this game around.
I mean, it's exerting the 150 kilogram bench press one time versus maybe the 100 kilo 8 times, Vedi. I haven't been to the gym in a while. That's accurate, though. SK, deep vision.
There's so much weight.
They're going in. It's a lot of weight, regardless. Haven't been close to any of that. Regardless, though, I'm looking at a lot of the tools that maybe can stall out the shotgun, right? Because that is important. Zhonya's we've talked about extensively this game. I see things like the Randuins from Carlsen that can also slow the approach of everyone else. Zhonya's now fully complete for Flakked. He's 4 items deep with the Serelda's Grudge adding for the slow. I also see Lifeline added by Kamiloo as he picks himself up the Immortal Shield Bow. So there is a lot of stalling.
This is what I mean. Yeah, it just gets that little bit harder when these defensive tools start to come through in those 4th, 5th completed item slots. Of course, SK working on damage on their side. There's that death cap now finished.
Oh, yeah.
BF sword picked up for Keduii.
Oh, yeah. What else going to circle?
And so it's going to be SK looking to force this Baron. They have pretty good vision coverage. There's little that Heretics should be able to see around this neutral objective. Stend, though, going to look to change that as he makes his way in. He's going to be the one to face check, as he should be.
Maybe we should add in, though, that Keduii, as a Sivir, is almost full item build. And while there is a shotgun, I guess that's the, what do you call it?
That's
the continuity play. Yeah, the insurance. The insurance is built out, like.
And something, again, that we heard from Super was that there's not really any threat on Keduii.
Yeah.
On this Sivir, this champion isn't really afraid of that many things, especially given that you can spell shield things like Carlsen's ultimate. You can spell shield the Nautilus ultimate.
Just don't get poked out is the one condition,
exactly.
Right?
You just have to avoid that poke, which you can even spell shield one of them if you have to. So Keduii is in a great spot. He's going to continue to get wave prio on these lanes. Look at how quickly he just clears out the minion wave, gives easy access to the topside river.
But again, we're noticing the same thing for Team Heretics. They're grouping around Baron. With double TP available, it's surprising to see that no one's in lanes. Like Kamiloo's not top. Carlsen is grouped up with everyone here to face check. They're worried about how they approach this objective, and with the ward down, they see that SK are not on it for now. Poke out, a Seer comes through as well, rather the Pillar of Flame from Sheo. It's also a good face-checking tool as Carlsen's going to stick around. DnDn is going to get flanked here, and we'll see if the Gatling gun's going to be enough. We look towards mid, though, waiting for the shockwave again, but it's not pulled off. Skeanz jumps in, isolated alone. Loopy with the Magnustorm as well. Onto Flakked, who can't play the game. Out he runs, but how far will he go? Not far enough. Team Heretics have bought their time, but just after the fight's already done, Kamiloo ran in, got exploded. Abbedagge the insurance policy has been claimed.
4 members fall for Heretics and SK remains strong. They find a good fight 39 minutes in, and they're looking to get first game in this series against Heretics.
In the all-important series, you have to put your hands together for SK in what looked rough at the start, was completed through the mid to late game. Here they stand in an almost 40-minute barn burner. The straw's all gone. The cows have evacuated Vedi. The barn door is open, and SK are running through victorious.
Stend with a cheeky Zhonya's, utilizing the arm guard to buy a bit of time. Still snarls in the faces of Kamiloo.